Alright, so by now you've probably completed Chapter 11 of Piggy. It came out a few weeks ago, so I'm going to assume you've already beat it, and you probably have seen Mr. P as a cyborg or robot, and you have a lot of questions. How in the world is he a cyborg? How in the world is he a robot? When did this happen? And well, I'm going to be answering all of your questions about that in this video, so stay tuned. Also, want to go ahead and say congrats to these guys on screen for winning our Robux card giveaway from yesterday. If you have not yet subscribed and you want to get one of these Robux cards, all you got to do is be subscribed and leave a comment down below with your Roblox name, your Twitter name, Discord, or some other way for me to contact you. And do keep in mind that I can't see who is subscribed and who isn't, so make sure you're subscribed, and let's get on with this video. Okay, so I think Mr. P being a cyborg or robot is really one of the biggest questions out there right now with Piggy, and unfortunately there's not really any solid answers in the game as to how he became a robot or what happened to him. Did he get attacked? Is he even infected? Like, what's going on with Mr. P? Because if you remember, the last time we saw him, it was at the end of the school chapter, and he was normal. He was a normal potato, and then after that we went to the hospital map. He flew off in the helicopter, and well, now here we are, and he is a cyborg, and he seems to have gone crazy as well. So like, what is going on with him? I think I found the answer. So all this ties back into Robbie the robot, which is in the mall chapter. Of course, chapter 10 is the mall, and the bot, the evil Piggy on that map is Robbie the robot. And for the longest time, a lot of people were also curious about Robbie the robot. How is there a robot? Like, robots now? Like, this is new. Like, this is crazy. And well, I believe that Robbie and Mr. P are actually tied together. So let me explain. So about a week ago, Piggy and Jailbreak did a crossover event, and if you go in the mall chapter and you go in the vault and you get to the back of the vault, you'll know that you get the police skin, you get the polar bear police skin, but there's also something else in the back of the vault. There is a note, and I'll put it up on the screen. Now, this isn't a normal note that you'd find around any other map or chapter. It's actually all in binary code, and if you know what binary code is, it's basically computer languages, a bunch of zeros and ones, and if you run all of these numbers through a binary code translator, you're gonna get a secret message. So I went ahead and I did just that. I ran all of this through a translator, and this thing translates to: we are upgrading the mall security protocol droids to protect it against intruders and the infected. So what this means is two things. Number one, Robbie isn't some infected humanoid creature, some Piggy that became a cyborg or anything like that got infected and then turned himself into a robot. He's not that. And it also gives us some clues about how Robbie was created. The people who work at the mall, they said, we're upgrading the mall security protocol droids to protect it against intruders and the infected. So it was recently upgraded within the past few days or maybe even weeks. Now, you're probably wondering how Robbie ties into Mr. P, and well, I'm going to throw two pictures up on the screen, and I'm going to let you can tell me, do you guys see something going on between these two characters here? So on the left we have Robbie, and on the right we have Mr. P, and this is the new cyborg version of Mr. P. You'll notice something very peculiar. Number one, Robbie is missing an eyeball. You're also going to notice that Mr. P happens to have a cyborg eyeball. You're also going to notice a few other things. Number two, Robbie has a chainsaw as an arm. He has an arm that is a weapon. You're also going to notice that Mr. P has an arm that is a weapon. I don't know if that's a flamethrower or some sort of Gatling gun or something, but he does have an arm that's a weapon. And then you're also going to notice that Robbie is missing pieces of his armor. I guess you would say it's not really skin because it's a robot, so metal pieces. I guess you're also going to notice that Mr. P has metal pieces on his body. Now, what I think is happening here is one of a few things. Number one, maybe Mr. P actually found Robbie. He came here and he took his eyeball. He took all these parts from Robbie and put them on himself. Mr. P is a scientist. He's really smart. He has a lot of money. He runs an amusement park, so he's rolling in that money, and obviously he's making all these potions and cures. So he's super smart, and a lot of money with a super smart brain that's somewhat crazy and evil. You get Mr. P, and you get what we see on screen. Now, what's also interesting is it says that they're upgrading the mall security droid, meaning that there's more droids. They didn't make it themselves. Someone else made it. And the question is, what if Mr. P actually created this droid? We know he's capable of turning himself into a robot from the end of chapter 11. So what if he's the one? What if he's the character that actually created these robots? We haven't met any other character in the universe so far that has seemingly been smart enough to be able to do that. So it very well could be Mr. P. He seems to be a very famous and well-known scientist. And if that is the case, crazy theory here, what if Mr. P actually has an army of robots down in that military base? Because if you had an army of robots that would protect and serve, or, you know, like, I don't know, defeat a bunch of armies of piggies, of infected piggies, where would you keep them? You'd probably keep them at the bottom of a military base in some sort of crazy secret laboratory, which seems to be exactly where we are going. Now, this is a pretty crazy out there theory, but it does make sense, and it does wrap up the questions we had around Mr. P and how in the world he became a robot. It also answers the question about how in the world Robbie is a robot and what's going on with him. So that's 2 questions answered with 1 stone. Absolutely amazing. So let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. Would you guys like to see a army, like an army of robots fighting against an army of piggies? I think that'd actually be really cool. Throw in some epic music and then like you have a little battle scene. Maybe they can make a movie out of it too. That'd be cool. But of course, if you guys haven't yet, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, red button underneath the video, and of course, keep using star code RealKreek. It helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate it. I spent over $2,000 giving out Robux cards in the past month and a half, so I really appreciate you guys using that star code. Thank you guys so much for watching though, and I will see you guys later today for some more streams. All right, see you guys later. All right, bye.